This is going to be quite a random kind of a video. All the learnings that I've had over the years, not necessarily from one particular book, I'm going to do a video. It's an experiment, so hopefully you will like it. Please subscribe. I'm happy to have crossed 50,000. Now the next target has to be 1 million, right? How can you have smaller targets? Anyway. Some of the things that I learned from Taleb's book or Ashwath Damodaran's book, I am unable to distinguish from where I learned better. For example, Taleb is very critical about journalism, and I completely agree with him, because journalism, as I see it, is a process of entertainment. It is not that people are serious about television journalism or even print journalism today. Both are losing their edge which they had. When we were in school, when a newspaper said something, it was like, oh my god, you have to believe it, right? It is the final word. If it came in Times of India or a Hindu Business Line, today the credibility of both these papers is not too high. When I see a news item, I look at the byline and I'm wondering, why is she doing the article now? What is her advantage in doing it, or why is he doing it now? There are a lot of women in journalism, a lot of men in journalism, and a lot of people with very little understanding in journalism, right? So it is all there. Then you realize, when you speak to some of the ex-anchors or even the current anchors, you realize that they are in the process of entertainment, right? Clearly in the process of entertainment. They have to do something which looks exciting that day. It need not have very great long-term implications, but they have to touch it, and they have to do, you see there's 100 news items in the minute or in an hour or whatever, right? Those kind of things, fatafat, you have to keep going, jumping. Do you get a chance to go into detail? No. I think blogs like us are lucky. If I have to do something on, say, financial influencers, I can do it without naming anybody and seeing what legislation should happen. So largely, so here there's a beautiful quote by Taleb. So I should, where largely he says journalism is about entertainment, and if the person doing that does not realize that he's an entertainer, you should stay away from him. So I'll quote exactly what he says. The business of journalism is about pure entertainment, not a search for truth, particularly when it comes to radio and television. The trick is to stay away from those who do not seem to know that they are in the entertainment business, right? So he says that very clearly, that this is about entertainment business. So why did I also say we have to talk about Ashwath Damodaran in the same breath? Because Ashwath Damodaran, the book is somewhere here, where he has written a book on investment fables. People love stories, right? So Ashwath Damodaran says, in equity, for every story there is a counter story, which is perfectly right. Now we take a period in history, maybe last 100 years, and from one country called the USA. The USA dominated the world. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember, but we built a dam in Hirakud. There's a Hirakud Dam, and for the Hirakud Dam, I remember I remember reading some old news articles saying the government of US, or rather the United Nations, was willing to fund it, or World Bank was willing to give us a loan, provided we bought cement from US, right? Now these kind of conditions were put by the so-called multilateral organizations just to prop up the American industry. So even today, America creates war all over the world to sell arms. They sold cement, they sold cars. Coca-Cola plants all over the world were set up with the government of US help, because they said, oh, our people are going to be there, so you need plants. So many of these things happen. So that nice period, juicy period, you take only one market and say, oh, markets will always revert to the mean. True, markets have reverted to the mean in the last 100 years in US, or last 150 years in the US. Does not mean it will always do that. What about the markets which just shut down? You can always say Greece didn't go up, Japan has not moved for 30-40 years. So there is always a counter story to every story in investing. So somebody has made wealth in real estate, but largely the wealth has been created by listing the company. So you can say everybody makes money only by investing in equities. The truth is, the market recognizes your effort. all the shoes that you have burnt by walking from door to door selling, all that is captured by the market. That is the beauty of the market, right? But having said that, is it possible that some markets don't go up at all? Some markets go up so high that it might take a long time to recover after a fall. All those things do happen, but we love stories. So stories of Taleb, where Taleb talks about stories and journalism, and Ashwath Damodaran talks about counter stories. That's why I wanted to do one of this. I'll do more of this, but I think short videos are better for these things. Thank you.